That's very humbling, by the way. I've always wanted to get my name or the company name on an Amazon slide. So, bucket list, check. This is not working, so I'm going to do this. Thanks for that. Yeah, I was here not here, but at RBC about 8 months ago, talking about how raising a startup is like raising a child. At that point, we had, I gotta flip this, sorry. There you go. So it said co-founder, and now it doesn't say CEO, it says CIO. Who watches Silicon Valley here? Okay, great show, right? So I'm now Chief Innovation Officer for Car Auction Services. Do you know who else is Chief Innovation Officer? What's his name? Gavin Beltran? Okay, more laughs would have been good, but yeah, so I'll explain how that happened. So what do we do? We're essentially, and I'm just going to give you a brief introduction, a marketplace for dealers to sell cars to one another. So it's a business-to-business platform. You can list a car through an app, videos, pictures. We send that up to the best cloud in the world. And then it gets processed and pinged out, pushed to all our market. And they bid in real time on a 1-hour auction. And then we do all the money movement and shipping of that vehicle. So when we started, we didn't, somebody said, why are we here? It was to make money. We all want to make money. But we wanted to build something great. We wanted to build something, like a lot of you, that has impact. I mean, ultimately, that's what we want to do. And if we do that, I think we will make the money. So we started in 2009. I started programming with one of my co-founders. Another interesting story. I'm going to go over my 5 minutes here, sorry. There's a guy named Azim. Azim, where are you? Azim's right there. A cool story. Azim and I worked at a company called Wisdom back in early 2000, where we were trying to build the App Store back then, essentially. When Java was still getting on the phones, right? Raised $50 million, not me. I was 20, 20-something, older than 20. And the company went bankrupt. And anyway, small world. I saw Azim give him a big hug. Toronto's great, by the way. I love Toronto, okay? And I love what you guys are doing for the community, and that's why we're here, because I think Toronto's the best place to start a software company. So anyway, so 2009 I started programming, coding it, grabbed a bunch of guys, 5 of us, started selling it. 2011 I raised $1 million venture money. Angel money, I should say. 2014 we're growing coast to coast, started in the US a bit. I sell half the company for $30 million. To a company called Car Auction Services. They're the second biggest auction company in the world. A week ago today, right? Today? Yeah. I sold the other half for $125 million, thereabouts. So I'm definitely in it to win it, and I did want money. But that's not always the initial intent. So by the numbers, to give you some credibility here, over $1 billion moved through the system, 4 million bids on cars past 12 months, 100 cars transacted, and approximately a $250 million valuation. And this is really for people starting a company here. I knew the business, my family's in the business, but I'm also a developer. I'm trained classically as a programmer. And whoever you're starting your company with, find somebody, know somebody that knows tech. Get that person in, because it was fundamental to how we started building our platform. You look at what we built, and we've got a system that's real-time in nature, so you've got real-time bidding, so I need something fast, quick. I need something then that's also transactionally stable with accountability. And then we love sexy UX. And we are built by design, so we had a whole other component of how the app felt. And so we needed all of that, but you need a platform that can scale with you, like Matt said, quickly. And so we were actually born in the cloud. And I want to reference another company that's not so good at the cloud. And that was Rackspace at that time. And we were in Rackspace initially. Wow, a minute. Okay, I got to go quick here. And so when we started in 2009, Amazon, I think at that time only had about S3, EC2, RDS was just coming out. And so we actually started with just those and a bit of Route 53. But we can talk about the benefits of the cloud, and what Matt talked about, they're all there. I'm not going to go through all of them. But there's one that I want to mention that maybe wasn't so specific. When you start your startup, you have a certain architecture in mind. Okay, we had a huge monolith at that time. Java-based, we had EC2 compute, we had some ELBs in the front, load balancing traffic, and we used Route 53, and we were still hosting on a Postgres service at that time before it reached RDS on our own managed servers on EC2. But over time, as technology progressed and as the needs of our app progressed, we started moving to NoSQL. We started moving to a Node.js layer. S3 started hosting websites dynamically and routing that to different distributions around the country so we could get lower latency, and we started using CloudFront. And now we're moving into container services, Kubernetes, and microservice architectures. And then leveraging Elasticache layers. And so you start talking about all these things, and if you're thinking, what is he talking about? Well, you don't know, right? You don't know until you know. And so the point here is the best part of the cloud, in our mind, was that we could change. We could create a really big hunk of glob and call it an app, but over time split it up without disrupting our customers at all. Overnight, we could iterate on that architecture as much as we wanted. So the main point of my conversations here, time's up, got it, is that you cannot hire people that know all this. It is nearly impossible to find, in my opinion, talent that can keep up with the demand and the changing innovation that's happening, especially at Amazon, because they are constantly releasing new features, okay, constantly. And we believe that organizations, every startup here, has to invest in people, find people not on what they know, but what they can learn. And an interesting stat from us, 56% of our developers are AWS certified. Okay, I myself hold 2 certifications. One's about to expire, but I will renew. And there's a joke that I'm trying to get more certifications than anybody else in the company right now. And you ask, well, why are you still doing that? Like, what's the point of that? Isn't it a waste of your time? Like, why do you need to know this? AWS, to me, is, and they, I think, use it in your presentations too, they're the Lego blocks of apps. And if you don't know what pieces you have to play with, how do you know what you're going to build? And we're so intent on staying ahead and innovating that we have to make sure our whole team is up to speed on these technologies. So my one takeaway here is invest in your people. Don't be afraid that they're going to leave. Okay, that is a very narrow-minded point of view. Invest in the people, and you will retain them. One other thing, Nadir's here. He's one of the TAMs. And I want to talk about something else that separates different cloud providers. To me, our great product is obviously the right idea. You have to have that to start. You need the right people, and I talked a little about what that means, right people, not necessarily on skill, but on ability to learn. And none of that's good unless you have the right tools. I'm confident to say that we would not be where we are, have the success we had if it wasn't for Amazon and what they've done to this space. Not only for the Lego blocks that they provide, which is why I'm referencing Nadir here, but the support they provide, the training they provide. So we have enterprise level support, and what that gives us is access to 2 technical account managers that we meet with. I think you guys meet every Friday, go through everything with our team that they need, and give us access, early access to stuff that's maybe coming down the pipeline. So we know, hey, we shouldn't build a new component that does this because Amazon's about to release something that's going to do the same thing. And also access to the engineers. And then stuff that's sometimes not even in technical documentation. Who knows what reserved instances are? Okay, awesome. Most people do, right? They save you money, right? You got to buy them. But did you also know that they allow you to come up faster when, say, somebody pushes code that takes down half the internet? Who knew that? I didn't know that, right? So I mean, you learn these things through these relationships. So to us, Amazon's been an amazing partner. We couldn't have scaled without them. And thanks for giving me my 10 minutes.